Hey, happy Tuesday. Happy first day of February, Black History Month. It's your afternoon girlfriend, Yvonne Daniels, and we are here. And thank you for joining us for another Kiss Small Business Spotlight. Man, so happy to be able to kick off another one for Black History Month. And I have got with me Miss Keoshia Banks. She is the founder and CEO of S3. Hey, Keoshia, how you doing today?
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I love shining the light on small businesses. And I actually met you, I think it was back in December at the Buena Vista Holiday Bazaar.
hmm
And there were so many great businesses there. And so reached out to you. So thank you for being available, making yourself available to come and just to talk about your business. So we can talk about, you got some great stuff going on with S3. So I'm going to let you just kind of give us a little bit about your background and a little bit about the business if you want to do that.
Okay, awesome. So, as mentioned, my name is Keoshia Banks, and I'm the founder and CEO of S3, which stands for Self Love, Self Respect, and Sisterhood Inc. And we know it's a mouthful, but it really is kind of necessary because each of those components really make up what we're about. We're all about making sure that our teen girls that participate in our programs and come to our events, that they know what it means to have self love. Through that self love, we believe that it helps them to create better respect for themselves and the people around them. And then the sisterhood part is like, we don't want to just learn self love for ourselves, but we want to share it with our sisters and we want to help lift up our sisters as well. So the reason that I created this nonprofit is truthfully, I learned that my passion and my purpose was for teen girls. Through life experiences and just kind of diving into my own spiritual walk,
Mhm.
that's what I believe God was showing me was my purpose. And it just kind of made sense. When I was a teenage girl, I didn't have mentorship. I had a mom. She's a strong mother figure. I always make sure I say that because I don't want people to think I didn't grow up without, some supervision or a
Yeah.
mother. But my mom was amazing. I had aunts. I had a grandma at the time that was really close to me, but I didn't have anybody that like I could tell, that stuff that like you really don't want to
Yeah.
talk to your mom about. So what ended up happening is because I didn't have anyone to get advice from, I was just kind of making decisions on my own. Whether it was about dating, even when it came to picking a college, I was just winging it.
Wow.
And some of that resulted in some bad decision making. When you're trying to figure it out and you don't really know what's right, you don't have wisdom, you make some rough decisions sometimes. But thankfully, I came out on a positive side of that growth experience. And now I just find myself constantly providing that mentorship that I needed. 14 girls, they come to me before I even started S3. They would come to me with parent issues, like issues with their parents or issues with their friends or issues with their relationships. And it was just like, it would just flow naturally. Like I didn't have to think hard about how to respond. It just kind of came out because the things that they were talking about were things that I had experienced.
Wow, that's, and that is such an awkward. I mean, I think we can all think back to that time in our lives. That's just such a, you're coming into yourself, you're becoming a young woman and just all the things, that you're having to deal with. So you definitely, if you don't have anybody in your life like that, it is definitely great to be able to reach out to,
hmm
someone, an organization. Now you spoke about teens. So what is the age group for your organization for the younger girls?
Yeah, so we specifically focus on that 13 to 16 age range.
Yeah.
We do have girls that are outside of that age range, but when we think about like what kind of programs are needed, like the level of, how deep we'll go into those discussions, we think about that 13 to 16-year-old girl. Typically, they're eighth grade, ninth grade, so they're in that transition period of their
Mhm.
lives.
Right.
They think they're grown, but they're also like babies at the same time. So
Yeah.
they want to be independent, but there's still a lot that they don't know. And we really just focus on that developmental area of 13 to 16.
And I think about just some of the when I think about self-love and just going through that awkward time, I know that you probably have heard of the recent, suicides that we've had from these young people,
hmm
both men and women, so it and they're young, they're 26 and 30, but that's a critical time, that 13 to 16. And so you want to, be able to help them develop, and become as whole as they can as before they
Mm-hmm.
go out into adulthood. Because once you get out there, boy, I tell you, it's just like,
Yeah.
only the strong survive, and you want to have that. So, as a part with your organization, how do young girls get in contact with you? Are you all in the schools, or how do you kind of navigate that?
So right now, that's what we're trying to figure out, because for a while, when before I started S3 and when it had first began, I was working in a school, so I had easy access to the girls, and I was a cheer coach as well.
Hmm.
So right now, our board is kind of trying to figure out what's going to be the best way to engage the girls now that I don't work in that space anymore. One of the things we do want to do is get back in the school to be able to provide it's called Sister to Sister. It's a 7-week program curriculum that focuses on that social emotional part of that girl.
Yeah.
So we start off by talking about what is self-love? How do you develop it? How do you even get to a place where you understand what that even means?
Amen.
Then once we get them there, we help them use what they learn to build healthier relationships, because we know that the two are very much connected.
Right.
And so we're working on building some partnerships with some schools. We're also working on offering it outside of school. So we do have some office space at the CMURC. So we actually have coming up in March 2 opportunities for girls to join and sign up to be a part of the Sister to Sister program.
Okay.
Again, like I said, it's 7 weeks. And then we do have a small cohort of girls that participate on our youth committee. So these girls are planning the next Girl Talk experience, because we have an event every year. It's called the Girl Talk Experience. And it's just like that, an experience. It's a 1-day thing, a few hours, and we kind of just touch a little bit on that whole girls empowerment, self-love conversation. Do some fun activities, eat some good food, and then the girls kind of go about their day. But we want them to come back to the programming and actually participate in the more full length 7-week program. So that's our youth group we have 8 girls right now, and we meet once a month, and we're actually going to take it up to 2 times a month, because they are like, we need to meet more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're going to up it to 2 times a month, but that's how we reach that group. And then we are going to be working on some social media outreach and kind of getting more into TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram, the things that our teen girls are actually, on.
You got to reach out to them where they are. That's
Yeah,
meet them where they are. So
absolutely.
I see your website here, the Self Love, Self Respect, and sisterhoodinc.org. So
Mm-hmm.
if they go there, will they be able to find information about your organization, how to become either a mentor or just a part of the mentorship?
Yes, yep. Everything about who we are is on our website. And then I also have a or Self Love, Self Respect, and Sisterhood Inc. Facebook, and so you can get to the Facebook through the website or through
Okay.
my personal Facebook page as well.
Okay. If I'm understanding correctly, you all are in the process of actually setting up different programs. Once you guys kind of get a little further along with it, right now you've just got young girls that meet once a month, trying to push it up to twice a month. If someone wanted to become a part of that, I mean, could they just kind of say, Keoshia, can I be a part of your group? Or do you just take cohorts at certain times?
Yep. So with the youth committee, we started in December, and so we're kind of far out to not want to add new people to the youth
Yeah.
committee this year.
Hmm.
Because one of the things that I try to make sure I do with the girls is build that relationship amongst each other so they feel comfortable. So
Yeah.
once you get to that place of comfort, and then you introduce a new person, and then you got to
Right.
start
Right.
over.
Yeah.
So with this set of girls, we're at our max. But if someone had a daughter and they say, I really feel like my daughter needs a mentorship, I want her to be a part of some type of programming, I would offer them the 7-week program that's coming up in March. And
Okay.
we are going to take 10 girls per session. So per 7 weeks, we only have 10 girls. And I have a weekday session and a Saturday session. I believe the weekday session is going to be on Wednesday evenings,
Okay.
and then the weekend session will be on Saturday mornings. And so they can enroll their daughter into one of those, daughter, niece, granddaughter.
Yeah, whoever needs it, right? And so, of course, the big question, I think I know the answer, but I want to ask it anyway. Is there a cost or is it free?
Okay, I wonder what your answer is. So there is a cost.
Okay.
It is $150 to participate in the 7-week program. It includes 2 hours worth of programming, and it's once a week. And then there are scholarships that are available. So if there's someone who's like, I don't have the $150, but my daughter really needs to participate in this, of course, we want to make it accessible. We are a nonprofit, so we do want to make all of our program accessible so we can offer them a scholarship.
Right. All right. All right.
Yes.
Sounds good. Of course, all that information too is on the website,
Yes.
right? All of that.
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, as you were talking about the young girls and, the fact that they want to meet more, because they're like, we got a lot to say.
Uh-huh.
What is there like a common, and I hate to use the word problem, but is there a common issue that the young ladies, all kind of seem to be concerned about or?
It's tough. I would say in the years that I've been doing this, there are two things that always come up, but there's also other stuff too. Like teen girls are dynamic. Like there's just a lot you have to think about and deal with when you're a teenage girl, especially now with social media being like there all the time. But the two biggest things that always come up is relationships. Girls talk to me a lot about relationships and sex. They talk a lot about sex. They want to know a lot about, I'll get a lot of questions of like, what's too young? How old is too young? And really just kind of want to know like, when should they be considering it? How should they know when they're ready?
Wow.
So yeah, we talk about a lot of things, and one of the biggest things that I always do is I don't ever try to give them answers because it's their life. I don't want to say, well, no, you don't need to do that because X, Y, and Z. I shape them, and I like when they ask me questions, I ask them questions back to help them decide for themselves what's going to be the best thing for me. Right. So if they have a relationship problem, it's unfortunate, but I have a lot of teen girls that are in very bad relationships, where their significant other is like they don't trust them, and they're cheating, or they're just not. It's not healthy.
Right.
And so instead of telling them you need to get out of that relationship because it's not healthy, because I know that doesn't work. It didn't work for me.
Right. Like, oh, I want to stay in it longer. If you tell them that, they're like, well, I really want to be in it now.
Exactly. So I'm like, that never worked for me when I was in high school. So instead of telling them what to do, I'll just ask them something like, what do you feel like you need? And they might be like, I feel like I want somebody that, makes me feel special. And I'm like, so if you don't feel like that person is making you feel that way, what do you think you should do? And they're like, I think I need to give it a break. Like they start answering their own questions.
Right. And it kind of makes them feel like they're like, I decided that, for myself as you're asking the questions. So, okay, very smart. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So, and you actually said you had, so you have a history in public health.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And that might be why I get a lot of the sex questions, and I feel very comfortable talking about that because I actually have a master's in public health, and then I'm a certified health educator. So one of my first positions was teaching sex ed at a high school. Okay. So very well versed in the knowledge part of it, but then also from life experience, versed in like the social aspect of it and kind of like the value of the person and talking to them about everything, not just the physical.
Right. Wow. So that, and a lot of times that's even more important, just the fact that you've gone through it, you've experienced it. So you're coming at this as, look, I'm telling you because gone this route before, you know what I'm saying? So so that's wonderful. So any young girl between the ages of 13 and 16 can get this information and become a part, of this as you have spaces available and with the cost and all that. Anybody, right?
Yep, absolutely. As long as they don't have to go to a particular school. They don't have to be a certain nationality. They don't have, they just have to want to deal with the social emotional aspects of themselves, because it's not forced. We don't want anybody to
Mm-hmm.
participate in our programs or come to our events that are there because they have to be. It won't, it will not have a good impact on their lives.
Yeah.
We want people who are like, you know what, I want to strengthen my confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I want to build stronger, healthier friendships.
Yeah.
I need somebody to talk to about the things that are going on inside of my head, and I don't know how to manage this drama in my life or these emotions. Because when we get to our sessions, we're letting it out. Like,
Yeah.
we're not coming in shy and not talking.
Yeah.
There are different activities that the girls are asked to participate in that help them dig a little bit deeper into those areas that they are usually not really talking about.
Right. Wow. That's powerful to be able to do that and to have a platform, where young girls can do that between 13 and 16. I know some grown folk that need to couch and digging, doing the work. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
people become
yeah.
bold. So kudos to you for what you're doing and for this organization. Once again, this is Keoshia Banks with S3 Self Love, Self Respect, Sisterhood Inc. Thank you so much for coming on and just sharing about your organization and what you do. Please be sure that you get me the information for what you got going on in March so we can get the word out for that, on our Kids Community page as well, so people can have that information. But man, just I'm going to stay in contact with you because I can see this growing. This is so needed for young ladies between the ages of 13 to 16. If you have a young lady, if you're watching and you know a young lady between those ages that needs to be a part of this, you see the website right there, self-love, self-respect, and sisterhoodinc.org. You can go there and get all the information that Keoshia has talked about. If you missed anything, go back and re-watch it, okay? Hit the replay. You can share it to anyone that you know that needs this information. But once again, Keoshia, thank you for just serving the community, because this is service to the community as well. And we need this because these young ladies are going to go out into the world and be a part of society. We want them to be as whole as they can as they enter
Absolutely.
society. So, all right, Keoshia Banks, founder of S3, I was about to say C3, S3, Self Love, Self Respect, Sisterhood Inc. Thank you so much. Are there any last words before we wrap this up that you just kind of want to say? And
I would just say thank you. And then the other piece that I always tell my girls is self love is a journey.
yeah,
You start it, you encounter life, you start it over. But it's important to learn what it means to keep giving yourself grace as you go through that process.
that's a word for all of us. Give yourself grace. Be
Yeah.
kind to yourself,
Yeah.
especially during these times. So, all right, thank you so much. I wish you the best. We'll be talking again for sure.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye
Have a
bye.
great day. Bye bye.